Alright, welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner Classic plus Non-Classic. This episode number 2596 and double number 2490. First up we have is a Incredible Hulk Epic Collection, Volume 21, Fall of the Pantheon. So, before I talk about the trade itself, this is going to be the third to last trade to review. They collect issues from Volume 1 from Incredible Hulk. The original Volume 1. Because, excuse me, I'm going to wrap up my review for Hulk. So, the only thing I review for Hulk is whoever comes out. And when I get to the last trade there, I will be mentioning what's going to be replaced, because this is going to be replaced really soon. And once, of course, Hulk is up to date, which makes only Submariner the only found member of the Defenders where he still has books left. Hulk is pretty much about done. So this book collects Tales of Astonish Volume 3, number 1, Hulk versus Venom, because it's collected in two epic collections for some reason. I don't know why. Peter Day writes both books. And, of course, it also collects Incredible Hulk 420 through 435. Now, everything in here is on by Peter Day. He writes everything in this book. We also art by John Esses, Jim Krug, Gary Frank, Derek Robinson, Liam Sharp, who I met, Tony Dotson. Rachel Dawson does some, I think she's a colorist inker. Justino and Chris Runin. The front cover is done by Derek Robinson, Lee Sullivan, and Veronica Giannitti. Back cover is Gary Frank, Cam Smith. The Tales of Astonish issue is a sci-fi action-adventure story featuring Hulk, Hank Pym, and the Wasp for this excellent one-shot. Now, Marvel did this also with Tales of Suspense as well. I think Strange Tales, where it's like this quick one-shot book, and I think that was it. Yeah, I love the cover. The cover is by John Ace, who does the interior artwork too. It's amazing. I love this book. It is just so awesome. I love the work. Sadly put, basically, this is something quite weird about him. This is the only comic he did the interior for. You know, I think he did do any covers. Well, he did. He did Strange Tales, Dark Corners, and the cover for X-Men Unlimited number 42, a book where it features Emma Frost in the cover. Yes, the beautiful Emma Frost. Yeah, but great story. I'm not going to talk Incredible Hulk versus Venom, because I talked about already. 420 is a PSA on AIDS. It has the death of Jim Wilson, Falcon's nephew. And he's still dead. He succumbed to AIDS in this issue. It's a great issue. It's just sad, basically, that he dies in this issue. Now, I'm sure Peter Day, I at least appreciated, though, that it's done with very much very respectful. Except it does have one small problem. Yes, it's the death of a longtime Hulk supporting character. Here's the problem. His uncle is not here to see him pass away. Nope. His uncle, Superhero Falcon, not here for this. I'm like, why? What's the reason why you couldn't have Bruce Banner contact the Avengers, who were so active, and find a way to contact Falcon? Because his nephew just died. Nope. And he's also seen flashback after this. But it's a great issue. And then 421 begins a story arc known as Myth Complications, which is a story arc that stretches from 421 to 423 and involves basically Hulk going up stuff from Norse mythology, while also dealing with basically hell in the finale. So yeah, it's basically a storyline where, let's have Peter David write Thor stuff in a Hulk comic. That's mostly put what this thing is, but it's awesome. And then 424 begins the fall of the Pantheon. That's what the storyline is. It starts from issue 424, wraps up at 426. Yeah, one of the team became a traitor. Yeah, Aquaman, he actually gets, well, he gets taken care of. And Jason the Renegade. Yeah, he turns bad guy as well. So they're put on trial for this quick three-parter. And here's something I find interesting. Are the Pantheon, this group the Hulk works with, are they disbanded by the end of the story arc? Like, or do they simply just stop appearing? Well, after this story arc, they do still kind of appear, but not much. Not really. After 425, their appearances are very sporadic. They appear a handful more times for this volume and appear in an annual, and next time they appear is in Heroic Age Prince Power. So it's like, yeah, first basically Peter David had the Hulk Plus unit there for a bit and then run him out of the series. Now he's right out of the Pantheon. And then, of course, basically, 6 months later, he fights Man-Thing. I think it's maybe the first time he fought Man-Thing. He fights Man-Thing for about a few issues. For a couple quick issues. And then, also, we have it where Hulk, basically Bruce is doing Hulk form. Him and Betty trying to live a normal life. And Betty's got this casual look for her. And also, at one point, it looks like Betty was dying, and then, she was fine, then she was dying. Also, they changed her hair color again, from blonde to brunette. Yeah, I have no idea why this is. And then, of course, 430, Speed Freak is back. Last time he appeared was in the previous issue. Yeah. Speed Freak, I believe, is a long-time Hulk villain. I think he not been around very long. He debuted in Incredible Hulk 388. So, yeah, he's a Peter David character. And he's no longer alive thanks to Civil War 1. Yeah, and that's where he next appears. Right after this one issue. At the 430, he's never seen again until Civil War 1 where he dies. And stays dead. Yep. So, yeah, basically, Mark Millar brought back a character I haven't seen in years and kills him off. Yep, and then began a story arc where the Abomination is back. Yes, the Abomination, who was just seen in Namor, the previous year. Also, Abomination is kind of become more the way the artist draws it. It was more like an evil Hulk, where he's basically like Hulk. There's even a joke in one of the issues here, where Hulk puts on a fin and thinks he's basically Savage Dragon. Yes. Okay, so after this two-parter, this would be the last time for a bit for Abomination appearing in the book. He does not appear in the book again until pretty much when the book is ready to hit the restart button. Yeah, he's here for 2 straight issues and he's gone. And then begins the over-the-edge stuff where it's mentioned here that apparently Punisher has been brainwashed by this rogue agent of Spook and believes Nick Fury murdered his family. So he tends to shoot him for this quick two-parter. And he gets wrapped up in Double-Edge Omega. Yeah, this over-the-edge event is weird. Yes. And if you're curious, who wrote the opening issue of this? Larry Hama. Yeah, and he's a character first appeared in the pages of Ghost Rider. Yes, and becomes the main villain of the story, who appears one at a time after this in Ghost Rider. Yeah, so I think basically he's dead, but not really, just fakes his death. He reunites with his beautiful girlfriend, Contessa. We also see the final appearance of Dawn Fury. Yeah, she first appeared in Strange Tales 159. That was her debut, and she next appeared also in 2 issues of Sergeant Fury, and then she appears in this book, where she meets basically her brother's girlfriend, Contessa, where, here's the thing, Contessa tells her that he always talks about her, and Dawn has not spoken to Nick Fury in years. So I think he's perfectly fine. Yeah, he's fine. So yeah, they held death for no reason at all. And then like we have in the final issue here where, oh, let's have Hulk play baseball with the Rhino. In a double-sized issue. His last appearance was in Savage Hulk #1. Yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah. Kind of a weird way to end this. So it's like, okay, we start out so we have a action adventure story and then skip over Hulk and we go to a tragedy. And then we have some very interesting stuff here and then play baseball with the Rhino. Good book. Loved it. Give it a 10 out of 10. So, basically, before I talk about the X Factor issues, Volume 22 would be next Epic Collection, but I've reviewed it already, and there's no Volume 23, so next thing I'll discuss before I get to Volume 24 will be a Peter David omnibus book. We'll cover basically those missing issues, and then we'll cover Hulk Epic Collection Volume 24, and I'll be done with Incredible Hulk. Now, in the case of the last 19 issues of, well, basically, now we're discussing X Factor issues 131 to 149. Yeah, Havoc becomes a bad guy, and basically they have X Factor fight and Sabretooth, who have basically been part of the team, ends up basically turning against them and puts their members in the hospital. Also, in these issues, Mystique attempts to start a relationship with Forge. Yeah, and also, Havoc is become a bad guy by reforming the Brotherhood of Immunes. And this is a new version of the group, which started up in basically on Uncanny X-Men 339. And in this issue, they're joined by Dark Beast and Fatal. You're thinking, who's Fatal? Yeah, this was a character that was created by Scott Lobdell, Brandon Pearson, John Francis Moore, and Jeff Messina, who became Fatal with issue 112. Yeah, it's just a fairly new character. So, he wears this harness, and yeah, and Sabretooth is basically kind of become underground, and then, of course, he turns against the team at some point. Yeah. Though Strong himself does eventually join the roster at some point. There is Nigga #1 in here, but all it is just one of the flashes, I think, related to Alex Summers and his connection with Mr. Sinister. But you can think of basically, and Sabretooth officially quits the team with issue 136 by putting Summers in the hospital. Mystique is wounded, and she wants basically revenge on it. And of course, Valerie Cooper basically also has to deal with stuff with Sabretooth as well. And also, we had the first appearance of a character named Stone, which I first saw this guy. I thought this was a guy from New Mutants, New X-Men. Nope. He appears for these 2 issues, and he's never seen again. Oh, one of the cool things about issue 138, we have Sabretooth versus Omega Red. How was it talking about basically 2 people who hate Wolverine and they fight each other in issue 138, which is awesome. Yeah, and they're also part of the group known as Hounds. Yeah, they're a new group of Hounds. Yeah, basically, because the original version, they popped up again recently. Which apparently, the new version of Hounds, the members are Vulture, Cloak and Dagger, Animex, Vitel, Federal, Reaper. Yeah. And then 139, they have where it's mostly put a lot of focus on Mystique and trying to develop her relationship with Forge, which goes nowhere. Yeah, then we have and then we have X Factor take a break for issue 140. The debut, the Xavier Underground Enforcers, who appear for 2 issues and they're never seen again. Yep. And it's that with Wild Child. Somehow Sabretooth's added back to the team. This way like he's evil. And then Mystique finally quits the team with issue 143. Yeah, and Havoc quits the team along with Ever. Yeah, pretty much we're beginning the end of the book. And then Havoc rejoins the team with Archer and Fix. Now, if you're curious, where the heck is the rest of the team here? A lot of them already quit. And X Factor is basically about the collapse. And then Greystone basically joins 145. And Forge quits the team in 145. And 146, Diamantrix rejoins the roster. And then pretty much with 147, we do with Shard for an issue. Error in school. And then 48, basically Valerie quits the team and Polaris is back. And then 149, the Government Incarnation of X Factor disbands due to the death of Havoc. The Havoc returns in Mutant X. Approximately 3 years later. Yeah. And that's pretty much the book in a nutshell. Yeah, kind of a weird way in the book. It's like, this era had a great start to it. I love the start for it. And then apparently the book started coming downhill a bit. Nothing against Howard Mankey here, but the book was interesting at best. Howard Mankey had the book interesting going forward, but he couldn't keep capturing magic period David having the book started. And plus, Havoc stopped wearing his costume he wore at the start of this run. But I'm going to give X Factor 131 to 149 a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on this era for X Factor and the first volume as a whole, because now we are done with the first volume X Factor. Because next time I talk about X Factor will be the second volume for the series, which is only 4 issues. Excuse me. After that, we'll discuss Jay Mandrick's book. Mandrix. Yeah, we'll talk about that book. And then we'll talk about his period David run, and that'll be it. So, final thoughts on the Government Incarnation of X Factor. This was a very interesting era for X Factor. This is an era that gets strictly referenced during Peter David's second run of the book. A lot of it's really good. It's got good writers. Nothing really bad here per se. It just seems kind of weird. Like, oh, let's have Mystique, Sabretooth the team, and Forge. And also attempts a relationship with Forge and Mystique, which goes nowhere. And also Sabretooth, apparently it's real in the book that Sabretooth had previously hurt Mystique at some point prior to this. Like, when was that? Because these two have on a relationship for decades. Aside from the fact she's basically still dating Destiny also as well. But final thoughts of the first volume as a whole. Had a lot of fun reviewing this. Yep, started with the original era for X Factor. Though, the strange thing is when people, you go back to when I start reviewing this particular run, I had already reviewed a lot of it already thanks to reviewing crossover trades. Stuff like Inferno, Mutant Massacre, Acts of Vengeance. A lot was already reviewed. I had this, like, after first I had to skip over half the freaking run for the private incarnation of X Factor if we were doing the Epic Collections. Yeah, and at one point I ran out of Epic Collections, and now I'm out of the... Here's the thing about X Factor. X Factor is out of the 90s because next book doesn't come out until 2002. 4 years later. Now, some of you might be asking, am I going to review Mutant X? I have no plans to do right now. No. Next question might be asking, okay, so when you finish reading X Factor, what's going to be next? I have not decided yet. Maybe a DC book, who knows. So, yeah, that's particularly it, particular view. Stay tuned for my review for Banished Near Party. Okay, next view. Bye.